Hello peeps and welcome to Sundays with Sparky. How is it going? How is it going, everybody? It is Sunday, it is the 7th of December. Can you believe it? 7th of December already. My god, this year has flown by. So, what has been going on in the last week? Well, I have been working a lot. And I will be continuing to work a lot for the next few weeks, I imagine. Probably up until after Christmas. So I haven't had an awful lot of time to do much else. So with the channel this week, we had more Borderlands. Because, yeah. you might see the end of the Borderlands series very soon. So, yeah, it started off and it felt like it was going to be just like Borderlands 2 and it was going to be fun and exciting. But it's not. I'm not quite sure why. I think part of it is that the story is kind of forced on you. Whereas in Borderlands 2, you could kind of pick up your quest and then start running off towards wherever it is you wanted to go. And you'd have the kind of, the radio, I guess, or the recording, or the echo, or whatever you want to call it, would play back the speech, or whatever. So you didn't have to necessarily stay in the same place while that person was talking. You could carry on running and then their little thing would pop up and you could still hear what they're saying. But for the pre-sequel, that seems to have stopped and you're having to kind of just stand there and wait for all the dialogue to finish before you can move on. I mean, there was one bit recently where you meet up with like this scientist guy, and him and Handsome Jack are having this kind of back and forth conversation, and you're just stood there twiddling your thumbs waiting for them to open the door, because you cannot leave that room until they've opened the door. And it goes on for what seems like 5 minutes. It's probably only a couple of minutes, but it just seems like it goes on for ages. And it's like, why couldn't that have continued whilst I was running out of this room and going off and killing other things, so that I could get to my next objective quicker, rather than just sitting here just doing nothing? And there's a lot of that sort of stuff, and there's a lot of backtracking, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't seem that interesting. The jumping and stuff was cool, and the slams were cool. I really enjoyed that, but yeah, it just wasn't anywhere near as fun. So my advice, if you're ever thinking about buying a game, maybe wait until a few other people have bought it first, and then they can tell you whether there's anything wrong with it, whether it's any good. So I learned my lesson. It's not something I do very often, admittedly, but it's something that I'm probably not going to do again. I'm probably going to wait now until either I know for definite a brand new game is working, because we seem to be finding out a lot at the moment that brand new games come out and then there's a day one patch to try and fix stuff, and then there's ongoing patches to try and fix stuff, and it's like, I would much rather have a game that I know is working than one that isn't. So yeah, especially when you're spending sort of anywhere between £30 and £40 for a new release. Yeah, so that's that. We had the first of a new series of my adventures through the dark portal into Draenor in World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor. I'm really enjoying doing that series as well at the moment. I've got quite a few videos already done, so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I quite enjoy, because I love the game anyway, and I love like the history and the lore and everything, and I kind of raced to 100 with my rogue. It was kind of like I just didn't really pay much attention to any of the quests. It was literally just a case of, right, had my quest tracker up, right, go to this place on the map, kill a bunch of these, collect a bunch of them, right, done, go. No idea why, but you know, that's just what I did. That's what I had to do to complete the quest, so that's what I went and did. Didn't really pay much attention to any of the story particularly, and because this expansion has a very good story, from what I have read and what other people have told me, I felt a bit like I'd done it a disservice. So I'm leveling up my shaman, who has been with me for years. I've had this character for years and years and years and years. So yeah, I figured I'd go through it again and I would read the quest text and kind of delve into the story a bit more and find out how this expansion relates to previous lore, because obviously it's an alternate timeline, so there's going to be differences and similarities, and there's going to be things that confuse the hell out of me as well, I imagine. Also, you get to hear my terrible accents and my really funny attempts at doing any kind of voice acting. So I try and do a different voice for each person that gives me a quest. And sometimes they're not too bad, and sometimes they're just ridiculous. But it should be a bit of fun anyway. So if you're not playing Warlords of Draenor, maybe you used to play WoW but you don't anymore, give it a look. Give it a look-see, because you might see something that you like. It might tempt you to come back and give it a try. Or if not, at least you can see what kind of story's going on and what who some of the characters are and stuff. So yes, it is fun, and I'm really enjoying making that series, so that shall continue for a little while. And then last but not least, we had a big deck player for more Hearthstone. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, because we're going to have the expansion release in a couple of days, so I don't know for definite how I'm going to do a big deck player, or whether I will be doing a big deck player next week, because obviously I'm not going to have all of the Goblins versus Gnomes cards, because there's like 120 of them. I have saved up some gold, some in-game gold, to buy some of the cards, so we shall see. Hopefully I'll be able to put a deck together, or find a deck with the cards that I do get. Fingers crossed. But it depends on what cards I get and whether I can make any decent decks. Most of the decks I'm finding on Hearthstone.com at the moment are using Goblins versus Gnomes cards in them as a kind of theory crafting. So it's very difficult for me to find decks that don't have any of those in that I can still show people, because I've got all the cards, all the normal cards, so I could show them any deck I like. But obviously, new 120 new cards come along. It's going to take me a little while before I can get all of those. So we shall have to wait and see. So hopefully there will be a big deck player next week, but I don't know for definite. So that's it. There's not much else to say really this week. I've just been working lots, and I'm hoping to get some more stuff out for you. I don't know, once Borderlands finishes, I don't know what to do. Maybe I can move the Warcraft series to Mondays and have some more multiplayer stuff on the Wednesdays. Or maybe I can have WoW Wednesday. That can be a WoW Wednesday perhaps, and move the multiplayer stuff to Monday. I don't know. But again, because it's coming up to Christmas, people are really busy. They're either off visiting relatives or are going to be working a lot like I am. So hopefully we can get some more multiplayer stuff in, like some more Gmod or whatever. But it's just trying to get everyone to sort of all be in the same place at the same time, and that can be a little bit tricky. So if there, I've still yet to do like a proper Let's Play, because I don't really count World of Warcraft as a Let's Play, because it's not starting from the beginning, and there's no end to it technically. So, although that will end when my character hits 100. So if there's any games that you'd like to see me let's play, I guess I could try and do one of those. Or I might just do a few one-off Wednesdays. I've got a bunch of games in my Steam library that I haven't played yet, so maybe I'll do some one-off Wednesdays. I don't know. Any ideas, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will definitely read them. I read all my comments, good and bad, but most of them are good, so that's great. So yeah, that's my little video for today. I'm probably going to edit half this out because most of it's just me going blah 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 blah. But thank you very much for watching. I will see you next week for some more Sundays with Sparky, and we'll hopefully talk about... Probably won't talk about The Hobbit. It's unlikely that I'll get to see it that early. Alright, thanks very much. I shall see you next week. Bye bye!